Every star shines brightly for a while, and then we see it diminish too. Getting a little philosophical there, but we're seeing the same happening to the NFL star Tom Brady. We saw him at the heights of his success, and we're seeing him right now as his team struggles to play well. Now the question is, as his glum season continues, will he be able to fix it? Let's talk more in this video. Starting off with the disappointed father. The headline is a bit distracting, but no, we're not talking about Tom Brady being upset at his literal children. We're talking about how, just as a father would, screaming in disappointment at the behavior of his children, Tom Brady stood over his offensive line and demanded better play from his team. And we're actually being quite polite here when we say he demanded, because his demand was anything but polite. So father to the team he was at that moment. Given the age difference between him and the rest of the team, that's actually quite possible too. He wasn't screaming at them for no reason though. The 45-year-old had a point. He was in the process of getting sacked twice in a game where Tampa Bay got just 75 yards as they rushed and lost against a previously struggling Pittsburgh team. Sure, the Bucs fell to 3-3, but if you watched the match, you know it looked worse than that. He said on Monday on the Let's Go podcast that it's a bad day when there are more F-bombs than touchdowns. So yeah, he also agreed that wasn't one of his better days, which is an understatement because this may be Brady's worst season yet. Next up, things aren't as fun. People have been observing him because, duh, it's Tom Brady. So Ben Roethlisberger, the former Steelers quarterback and Brady's rival, said that there's no way Brady's enjoying this. And you know what? He couldn't be more right. He's a wise little nut. Roethlisberger, despite being 5 years Brady's junior, is retired and comments on the current performances of the players in the league. Because indeed, it hasn't looked like Brady's had much fun this whole year. As you know, he retired last winter, only to unretire to make a final run at an 8th Super Bowl title. And it's not even like that wasn't an excellent decision, because as an individual, he's still playing at a top level. He's completing 67.2% of his passes for a respectable 6.7 yards on each attempt. Against 8 touchdowns, he's thrown just 1 interception. And it's even more impressive when you consider this Tampa Bay team looks nothing like the team that took the Lombardi Trophy home 2 seasons ago and even led the Los Angeles Rams until the last seconds of the divisional round. If that sounds too promising, don't forget that that happened just a season ago. Moving on, personal life crisis. For Brady to still play so well is very good because he's right now in the middle of very high-profile personal life issues. Rumors are circulating around that he's about to get divorced from his wife and that things aren't okay between the two. And the fact that his personal life is already in such shambles, the little relief he could get when his team won isn't there either this time. It obviously can't sit well with him because now he isn't playing for fame or fortune. He has plenty of all that. Now, this is only about winning, and no one knows if the Bucs can win. When he took 11 days off for personal issues, he later on declared that he was a 45-year-old man. A lot is going on in his life, and when he said that, we're pretty sure every 45-year-old, let alone a father of 3, nodded vigorously. It's just that no one else is trying to quarterback an NFL team. Despite all his issues, his competitiveness and his dedication have always set him apart from the rest. When he used to play for the Patriots, he was the first person at the stadium every morning and was relentless with film study and worked harder than anyone else there. So we knew that for him, his team and his game matter more, and that their personal life and personal relationships are secondary to him. Speaking of, the taskmaster. Because he used to be the guy who said that as much as he wanted to have a playful balance with the work balance, he always ended up doing what he's always done, which is why he's who he is. And when he was in his competitive zone, he'd get the job done and wonder what he had to do for his teammates to get the job done too. Honestly, only sounds fun if it works, and Brady's the sort of guy who got it done more than any other football player. If everything that he's been doing for the past years that has proven his success isn't working, that has to be a new one for Brady. His only losing season was his rookie year when he was a backup on the 5-11 Pats. But since then, 19 out of his 20 seasons have been amazing, and he's given his team at least 10 victories. What's more, you know what we think the problem could be? This team is missing Brady's favorite safety blanket, Rob Gronkowski. He's retired now, and the wide receiver depth has a huge problem. Injuries are everywhere. The offensive line is a complete mess, and let's not forget that there are 5 new starters. There's also no run game to speak of. Brady can cuss all day long and as much as he likes, but that may not solve the issue the Bucs are facing right now. It really can't be enjoyable if neither your work life nor home life is going well. If your commitment to football is described as military deployment, if you're older than everyone else on your team, all your old buddies are retired, and you do not know how to get the new guys to improve. Of course, it can't be fun, and solving this issue may need Brady's greatest magic trick yet. Now let's head over to talk more about Tom Brady and if he's going to retire after this season. We'll begin with the end is near. It appears as though the 2022 NFL season is going to be Tom Brady's last. He's 45, so this shouldn't appear a big surprise. But he's also retired before, so he's maybe going to hang them up after this season. According to Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network, that's exactly what's going to happen. According to sources who have knowledge of his thinking, they've said that Brady's heading into what's expected to be his last season in the NFL. Though he's never said it publicly, many parties involved have acknowledged that last year's retirement and then unretirement are all leading to the end of his career. It's the understanding that this is the final year. Rappaport also said that Brady's contract status is just another pointer of his impending retirement. Speaking of the end of the contract, the only other time Brady has entered a season without a contract for the next season was in 2019, and that was his final year in New England before leaving for Tampa. So if that doesn't tell you he's going to retire soon, then we don't know what will. While a source close to Brady maintained that doesn't matter because a contract would be worked out if he returned, it's important to keep it in mind. We're saying that it's expected he's going to retire this year, but the key word here is expected, you guys. Nothing is set in stone. But that being said, Brady claimed in the past that his personal goal was to play until the age 45, and he met that milestone in August. Finishing up, no one knows for sure. How Tom Brady retired this past offseason was an immense shock for everyone, because except for the speculations and guesses, there was no sign at all that he was going to go ahead and do it. And this time too, sure, there are guesses and speculations again, but there's no indication that he'll retire, which is why, despite his age, the announcement had caught most people off guard. It's also why, when he came out of retirement, the Buccaneers front office restocked its cupboard almost immediately after Brady announced he had unfinished business. It was more money for them, and they knew they had to take advantage of that, especially with the limited number of options that were present at the quarterback position. So that's just what they did. Now, fast forward a few more months, and we're back where we started, wondering if Brady is going to retire soon or not. And sure, we know that it's coming soon. It's still going to be a privilege to watch the greatest quarterback of all time play for the very last time. So Bucs fans, don't take him for granted as he plays the last matches of his life for the team that he came out of retirement for. Alright now, that's it from our side for today. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you have questions or thoughts about Tom Brady's glum season and whether he may be able to fix it, let us know in the comments below. See you in the next one.